All right. How the hell does that work? Oh, I'm about to get our logo up there. Can you see a logo at the top of your screen?
Yeah, I see powered by StreamYard. I don't see the other one. Let me go into
I don't have ours on there. I didn't know you did it. They add a lot of this stuff on here.
Oh, let me peep. Let me get this. Oh shit! No.
No, I can add Stoop Life and shit on there. Like you can
Okay.
add your own on here. I got video clips on here, backgrounds, music. I bet I can start adding shit on here.
Yeah, let's start doing that, bro. Let's start doing that.
It wasn't on here before. Cause remember we always wanted to do the intro with the music. We couldn't do it because it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it won't work. Now you don't have to. Just play some music.
Yeah, I'm not. Now I can. Here you go. Here's your song. That's your intro.
Oh man.
It's called Into Space. That's all. That's you right there.
Into space. Into space.
Yo, we're gonna start the new podcast out with our intro. It's gonna be Into Space, and then you're gonna pop out with your background of space.
And I'll be like this.
Oh man! All right,
with the John.
Ready? You ready to get this day?
Yeah.
Right. Nice and early today. What is going on? Like welcome back to another episode of the Stoop Life podcast. Today we're talking about football again. We already know there's really not much going on in sports that's worth talking about, except football because we're in the playoffs. But Paul, since the playoffs started, that means fantasy football's over. We all got over the fantasy football champions. I won one league. You came in.
I'm not. I lost my league. Okay.
But yo, it means it's over. It means fantasy football is over. The best time of the year is fantasy football. Stressful as well. I mean, like it gets stressful fantasy football when your teams have some players in the playoffs and they need to get you 15 and they're not getting targeted. Man, that's the worst. But you know what else? You know what's even better than that though?
Yeah.
When your guy's only projected to get like 9, he already got like 25 in the first.
Yeah, he got 25 in the first half. That's a lovely feeling.
You know, the last night I had a dream, and I actually had a dream where my bench players all had 25 plus in like the fantasy football championship, and I lost because my bench scored like 300 points. Even my kicker had like 50. I obviously it ain't gonna happen, but it got me thinking. And today we're going to talk to you guys about our fantasy football awards. We're going to give you our all-bust team and our all-MVP team. Now, I went back and looked at a lot of these and where we had them ranked in our charts and where they were ranked, you know, in general in charts of a lot of fantasy football mock drafts for point per reception. Now, the MVP is going to be obviously some guys, they were just high and above the other guys. Other guys that we have on the list might not have been like the top 5, 6 in their position, but compared to where they were ranked in the beginning of the year to where they finished, there's a couple of guys on here that actually like might surprise some people. There's actually a couple on here that I think are surprising. Others I think we already knew about. But the bust list, I want to start with the fantasy bust list. And there's 2 guys on here that I think are the elite busts. Now, we're going to start with my second bust. He's number 2 ranked at quarterback. The man who we all thought was going to have a great year. Maybe not top 10. I mean, maybe not top 5. But where he was going in the draft, you thought he was going to be able to give you a steal. We're talking about Russell fucking Wilson.
Terrible. Terrible.
Listen, like, he got drafted in every league. In the beginning of the year, he was rostered on 95% of leagues he was rostered in. At the end of the year, it was under 50. Now, if that ain't a bust, that's a fucking bust. He was terrible, man.
Broncos County. Broncos country. Right out.
Now, I don't know about Russell Wilson. I feel like a lot of that had to do with the coaching, though. I feel like he wasn't all there. Don't get me wrong. We've seen these quarterbacks that hurt their thumbs. Look at Dak Prescott so far this year. He came back from his thumb injury. He keeps throwing a lot of interceptions.
A lot of INTs.
Wilson came back from that thumb injury last year and this year, and he's been terrible. But, I mean, he got paid to make production, and he shit the bed. He finished right outside. He finished below 15th at quarterback, which was terrible. And a lot of people picked him. Like I said, they picked him. He was 7th, 8th quarterback off the list, and he finished double that. I don't know. I didn't have him on my roster. I know a lot of people picked him up that one time because he was always on that like free agent thing.
Yeah.
And then he scored like 4, and then he never got touched after that. Now I want to talk about the number one bust. You already know who it is. Tell the people who the number one bust of the year was.
I'm gonna say it was JT.
Had to be, right?
I mean, coming off a season like that, and he did get hurt. Get hurt. But he was not, and he was productive. He just got hurt.
Listen, he finished 151st ranked overall. He got hurt, but he wasn't out for the year. So he wasn't out for the year. Like, if he would have got hurt for the whole year, like week 5 or 6, he would have been on the list because he's injured. It is what it is. But he kept coming back and forth, and he was just shit in the bed, man. I mean, I'm glad I didn't have the first pick. I wouldn't have picked him anyway, even though everybody said you got to take him. Because I feel like in fantasy football, it's turned into the Madden curse, dude.
I know,
if you're the number one guy, you get hurt. So it's like, if you have number one pick in fantasy football next year, don't take who everybody's telling you to take. I'm just telling you. Like, don't do it. Just take Justin Jefferson. He'll probably be safe. Go somewhere different. He's not going to be a number one, but I mean, it's a Madden curse, man. What? Christian McCaffrey was here before. Barkley was there before.
Yeah, Barkley definitely that one hurt.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I know in 2 of my leagues, guys traded 2 first place to get JT, and he got hurt, and I'm like, son. Some people even at number 1 they took Cooper Kupp. So like the number 1 and 2 guys that in their positions they were both kind of bust bad. At least Cooper Kupp got hurt. At least Cooper Kupp was out for the year, so you could cut him. You didn't have to play him. Now we know my least favorite bust of the year. This next guy. This is the guy that's always going to finish number 1 overall.
Which is who?
55. Man, he finished 55. He still scored 235 points, but the problem with this guy is you need a guy to produce for you throughout the year. And this guy didn't produce throughout the year. But at the end of the year, if you were lucky enough to make the playoffs with him on your roster, he helped you. This is Najee Harris.
Man.
All year. 11, 8, 9.
Dude, like he almost made me regret not drafting him until he played. Until he played.
I mean, I was high on him.
Very.
I was like, he's going to be the number 1 running back. I feel like he's going to get a lot of touches. Then he got hurt before the season. He still went about 4th overall on average, and he finished 55, man. Me personally, it hurt me because, like, my team, by the time I was actually, like, we were in the playoffs in our league, I had him. I was already the 8 seed, and it was like, yo, this sucks. Like, if you would have at least got me to, like, the 5 seed, I maybe could have won. Couldn't have scored, like, 3 or 4 more points, like, each week. It would have helped me
just a little – if he would have just put a little bit more effort. Yes.
Yeah, just a little more effort. So, out of the wide receivers we got coming up next, we got a bunch of wide receivers here. Who do you think was the number 1 wide receiver?
Debo, and it's not even close. It's because, again, he's banged up. He didn't put up those Debo numbers.
Yeah, I feel like he was an early 2nd round pick in most drafts, right? I think he went like early 2nd. I'm glad because I actually passed on him. Remember in our league, I had him right there. I forget who I took, but I passed him. I love Debo. I knew he was going to get hurt this year, but he ended up finishing 106, and he went probably, like I just said, 2nd round, so he was probably like around 14, 15. He finished at 106. It's crazy. So I'm looking up a lot of these charts to see who people thought were bust, and barely anybody mentioned Debo. And I'm like, did you guys forget the year Debo had the year before? He was number 4 overall the year before. So for him to go from 4 overall to 106, I mean, it was unexpected, bro. I mean, like you said, he got hurt, but again, he's one of guys that didn't get hurt for the year. You still had to play him if he was healthy, and he got you like a 4-piece.
Yeah.
Killed him. And he didn't help you in the playoffs either, which makes it even worse for him. He didn't play in the playoffs. So if you'd wasted your early second-round draft pick on this guy, you didn't have him in the playoffs. So that's a bust right there. It's a waste of a pick.
Absolutely.
Now, my number one was Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, it hurt me too.
Man.
That shit hurt me too, man.
I didn't think he was going to finish in the top 10 of wide receivers, but I had him just outside of like 15, give or take, and he finished 130. He only scored 159 points. He scored less points than Debo did.
He did.
He was healthy. I mean, that's the Russell Wilson effect, though. I don't know about you. I feel like he's not gonna be that bad next year. Like he's been pretty good at fantasy football wise, like throughout his career.
Yes, he's been consistent for his first couple of years.
Yeah, he was pretty banged up there. So I mean, for anyone who drafted for Cortland Sutton, thinking you're gonna be your number 3 receiver, or your flex gonna help you win your playoffs because they had that easy schedule at the end.
Yeah,
ain't help nobody.
Didn't do nothing.
Nah. Now we got another wide receiver slot here. There's a couple guys that we could put in here. Who would you put in here as a slot guy? Because there's a couple guys.
This one hurt. I want to tell you why this one hurt, right? Because I had every year I draft him. This guy every year I draft him because I think he's gonna get you big yards on less receptions and touchdowns. He's a playman. He's a bust the game wide open guy. We're talking about the good old Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
And he was so inconsistent this year because he didn't want to be there, but he came back to play there. I don't get why. He had a chance to come to Green Bay. Would have loved him there. The guy he didn't put up he didn't put up Brandon Cook like numbers. Brandon Cook's average is 1,000 yards a season. He's only been in the league for close to 8 years. He has close to 8,000 yards receiving.
Yeah, like 70 receptions a year too.
Like, he's consistent. This year, he was not.
He was bad. Finished 154 overall ranked.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, he's a guy that finishes just outside top 10, around 15 or 16 every year. He was a guy that a lot of people waited on to get as a sleeper, and he slept. He slept all year. Another guy I didn't put on here, which we could have put here, which I thought you might have said, Michael Pittman. I don't think he sucked though. So Michael Pittman was a guy where I think was like right there, top 10, and he finished like 50 or 60. So looking at his stats, I had him on my team. He killed me a couple times because he had a couple weeks where he scored like 33 or 34 points.
Yeah.
Then he had like 2 weeks following that where he only scored like 4. And he killed a lot. So like he was right there as like a third wide receiver I thought we could have put. But I didn't have him on there. But I think our 2 biggest disappointments, they're probably not the biggest bust of the year, but I think the 2 biggest disappointments are both tight ends. We had a big year.
Oh my God.
Football, tight ends were terrible. A lot of people, they say Mark Andrews. And I said, how can Mark Andrews be on your bust list when he still finished the 2nd tight end overall?
Yeah,
he technically could have been a bust. He was a bust for what he did, but he was the number 2 tight end.
It was kind of we got to give him a little leeway here though. It was kind of Travis Kelce or nobody. Like
exactly.
It was even George Kittle had you like a little bit this year, be like, damn.
At the end of the year.
You lit up at the end of the year.
MVPs, he was a playoff MVP. George Kittle.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely turned up.
People traded him or cut it George Kittle. And at the end of the year, you're like, yo, he scored 7 touchdowns in 4 games. But we got 2 tight ends on there. One of them tight end, one of them at flex. And I know you're disappointed in both these guys. We got Darren Waller and Kyle Pitts. They're
terrible.
The same. They both.
I don't know.
75. Terrible.
I don't know the problem. I don't know what's the problem. I don't get it. Darren Waller is the one that shocks me the most because Kyle Pitts don't really get in the end zone. So, but he at least gives you catches. He's at least going to give you catches.
He didn't get targeted this year a lot.
Exactly. He wasn't getting targeted. So I can't. So Kyle Pitts kind of didn't shock me as much, but Darren Waller he had a full offense around him where he was going to get open.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he was fully hurt all year. He was not. He just shit the bed. He's
84 points scored. Horrible.
terrible.
Horrible. I mean, he was coming off board like 3, 4 tight end taken, and he finished 270. I mean, I know some people in drafts were picking him in the 4th round. You know,
I actually picked him in my one draft, but I think I got him late.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. So, I mean, Kyle Pitts, like we said, he didn't get targeted a lot, but you would think like he picked it up at the end of last year. We thought maybe he was going to get targeted more with, obviously they picked him number 4 overall or whatever they picked him in the draft. Like, what are they doing? Like, they waste your pick. You can't have that guy that's that talented and you don't even throw it to him. It's not like you have an elite running game either. Like their wide receiver London didn't even have a great year either, so it doesn't make sense. Like, and they weren't that bad this year. They were okay. They're better than I thought they were going to be, but I don't know about them. I'd be weird to take them next year just based off of like I'm already trying to figure out what the tight end rankings for next year will be. Like it's like if you don't get Travis Kelce, you might as well just go to waiver wire. For real, though,
George Kittle.
It's that big of a difference, you know.
It is that big of it. He's so much ahead of his class. Like it's wild, dude. He's so much ahead of his position that it's almost like bad. Like you look at the other tight ends, you're like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, I mean, it really makes it like obviously Kelce's gonna be the tight end MVP. He scored 100 more points than his next guy. He scored 100 more points than his next guy. So it's like he's gonna be worthy a 1st round pick. Like, you're gonna have to take him in the 1st round. Like, otherwise your tight ends are gonna be like flip flop all year. So I mean, we got some bench spots to cover. Now we got a guy here who a lot of people projected him to be, top quarterback of the year, contract season. He finished 14th, right ahead of Russell Wilson. He didn't play a couple games, but Lamar Jackson, what a bust he was this year.
Action Jackson. We all know why. We all know why, though.
Yeah. I want to talk about it a little bit. He started off phenomenal.
He was phenomenal. He was balling. He was definitely balling out for that contract, but
the next thing you know, he's kind of like, all right, I'm not playing anymore. It was like
he didn't want to be there. There was something that went on in that locker room. I think when contract talks did probably boost up a little bit because he's probably like, yo, I'm balling. Where's my money at? And he probably was like, okay, we want to play that way? I could play hurt. Exactly. And it's still going on. Yeah. They have a 3rd-string quarterback starting this week for them in the playoffs.
I was thinking about it, like Lamar, like in actual real life terms, like if you were him, would you play this week?
No.
Me either. Like, no. Where's the positive for him? If he wins one game, what does that get?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He has to win more than one. He has to win 2 or 3 games. So it's like, do you think that team is going to beat Buffalo or
Kansas City?
Depending on who they play, they're not going to win them next games. Like, they're not going to. So it's like, all right, he plays this week, and then they get blown out next week. It doesn't help him at all that he won. He's better off just saying, screw you guys, I'm not playing. I like people out there saying, oh, he's not even injured, he should play. We see what happened with Hamlin. Shit happens, man. You might never play again. You can't go out there without that contract and play, even if you're, slightly hurt. He's probably hurt, which is a PCL, they're saying, knee. Mm-hmm. You're a running quarterback like him. I wouldn't risk it until I got paid.
I'm getting my contract. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, he's more than likely going to get the franchise tag, and then I'm thinking somebody trades for him. I don't know who it could be. Jets, Miami, maybe Vegas, maybe. I don't know. I don't see him playing again in Baltimore, though. I don't. So he's a guy that's on our bust list, but I would not be worried about taking him next year. I'd still take him.
I would too.
He'll be all right. We got a teammate of his, though. That's one of our backups here. A guy that I thought would be one of them guys that came back from injury and would be perfectly fine.
And he couldn't
come back. He was out all year, banged up, hamstring, knee. J.K. fucking Dobbins, man. He turned it on at the end of the year, though, the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he did. He was playing well.
He had about 3 or 4 good weeks where he scored 81 total points. That's it. He finished 280th ranked. Now, bust. Now, in terms of bust, he was coming back from the injury, so a lot of people might not have actually had him. But I think I'm not the only one that thought he was going to come back from that injury and be fine, which he didn't. Like I said, he scored 81 points, probably drafted in like the 5th, 6th round. Mm-hmm. didn't have him all year. I mean, it kind of sucked. Now, we got one more running back on here. Do you think this guy was a bust or not? We're talking about DeAndre Swift.
I think he was okay towards the end of the year. Again, Jamal Williams runs that backfield. That's his. Jamal Williams is the lead back, and he showed why he's a lead back this year. He was lead back last year too. Because Swift can be healthy. Yeah, I mean, again, it's another binged up guy that's like, all right, if he's healthy, he's great. Because he was. Towards the end of the year, he put up numbers. He put up decent numbers, but it wasn't great.
I feel like you just said, he was banged up, but he was playing. So it's like, you draft him in the first round, maybe early second at worst. He would put up 25 points one week and then play 3 downs and give you 3 carries and 1 point the next week, where you could have benched him. But it's DeAndre Swift, you couldn't bench him. So I feel like a lot of people that drafted him, they didn't get away from his name, so they kept playing him. So it hurt a lot of people in their leagues. If you were smart enough to keep him on your bench and just not play him, then you're pretty good. But otherwise, Nat, he did finish 83, which isn't bad, like you just said. But consider the fact he was in a top 10 running back, like top 8.
Yeah,
pretty
absolutely.
Yeah, pretty below that.
It's because of what he could do. He could catch the ball at the backfield. He could turn up big plays. He's gonna get you touchdowns. But these last 2 years, he's been banged. Since he's been a pro, he's been banged up. So he might be falling in that bust side when it comes to fantasy wise.
Yeah, I don't see him having a better year next year than he did this year. I feel like that's who he is. Injury
at this point, like I said, Jamal's going to get a contract.
Yeah,
and Detroit's stupid if they let him go, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, I agree.
He just broke Barry Sanders' franchise record for touchdowns, man. I can't.
They crushed it.
I can't.
We got 2 more guys on here on our bus list, both wide receivers. They both finished at about the same. Now I want to talk about the first guy, Deontay Johnson.
Dog.
I've never seen a guy get so many targets and not put up points in PPR. Like, he averaged 12 targets a game, and he only scored 180 total points. He finished 92nd. Now it's crazy. It's crazy. I thought he was going to be right below top 20 because last year I had him, bro. You know how much I like this guy in fantasy football. Like I said,
I had him too. I know he was decent.
Yeah, you get all them targets, you should be getting points, right?
Yeah.
But he's not number 1 there. So I think he'll be about 92 next year as well. It's not bad. I mean, it's not terrible.
No, he's still in the top 100.
Very projected and expected and drafted. Terrible year. But we got another guy that I know you like. How you think about that?
He hurt me a little bit, though.
Yeah, he did.
He hurt me. And he hurt me in the wrong – every week that he hurt me, it was the wrong week to hurt me.
He's another guy that had a 15, 25-point week, 2 weeks where he scored 4. Yep. I'm talking about Gabe Davis. This guy scored 4 touchdowns the final game of last year that he played. Yep. I don't think he had 4 touchdowns this year, did he?
He had that game where he had like 4 receptions, 178 yards, and 3 TDs. He had a big game this year.
The thing about that week is a lot of people didn't play him that week because he played 2 weeks before that back-to-back. He was bad. Remember?
Yeah.
You were like, I remember that because you were like, "Shot play him," and I was like, "Great matchup." And he went off. He did, but I know a lot of people didn't play him. It wasn't bad. But he's our final guy on the bus team. I feel like if you make that bus team on Madden, that'll look like a 99 right there. The sad part is I had 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 of them damn guys. Man, I got the all Madden team. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm talking about one league. One league I had.
Damn, that
was our league. Yeah, I had all bust in our league. I was like, yo, my team's stacked. Bust. I mean, Jesus Christ. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. Now we're going to talk about some bright things. We're going to talk about the MVPs. We already know who the quarterback is. Quarterback is Mahomes. Now, there's one reason why I have him number 1. Because he scored 499 points. He finished number 1. There are other quarterbacks out there that finished higher than expected. But Paul was one of the guys who didn't think Patrick Mahomes was going to be able to put up these numbers. Frankly, over half the people did. But
okay, so when he says this, it's not that I don't think he can put up the numbers. It's because what he was working with. This year, he showed me he's that bull.
Yeah, he's that man. He's that
bull. Like, that's a bad man right there. And not that I doubted he was a bad man. I think he was always one of the best quarterback in the league. I just seen that he lost his best target. Little did I think he made these receivers.
Yeah, he did. He
made them. Like he's a hell of a player, man. He's a hell of a quarterback. The fact that he can I name some of these receivers like Juju Smith? I mean, Cantovius Tony. Like, bro, what? Then he had Jerick McKinnon had 9 total receiving touchdowns.
That is beast, bro.
Bro, he's
got a little playbook out of Brady. He kept doing the dump to the backfield, but then he could throw it 70 yards. Like, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He's probably going to win the MVP in real life too, and he won fantasy. I don't think he's a fantasy MVP though. This next guy we're going to talk about is who I would give the fantasy MVP to.
Really?
I think the overall fantasy MVP was Austin Eckler.
He did a lot. He did a lot.
Now I'm going to say this because when you look at guys when they put up points, I get it. Patrick Mahomes put up 499.
Yeah,
this is great. There was a couple other quarterbacks that were above 450. There was actually 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Eckler was 45 points above the next running back, and he was probably 4th or 5th taken. Hell, in a lot of drafts in our league, he got picked 8th, and he finished 5 overall, 4 quarterbacks above him. So, I mean, like I said, Austin Eckler, in my opinion, was the fantasy football MVP simply because of where he got drafted and what he produced at that position for where he got drafted. And the crazy part is, in 2 of my leagues, in our league and my other league, the team that won had both Mahomes and Eckler in both leagues.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right, you got Mahomes and Eckler, you're getting 25 points each a week.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good. Now, what do you think about the next running back? Who's the next fantasy football running back we should have on our MVP chart? There's a couple guys you can come to mind.
The league's leading rusher, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
A guy who's probably not going to be a Raider next year.
Yeah. I mean, they got to sign him back. I
don't know at this point. I think he might want to get his ass out of there too.
Yeah. It depends. Depends who they get to come back at quarterback. They might get, Rodgers, Brady, Lamar. You never know. They might get one of them guys come in town, and it might change your opinion on when to leave. I know it would change me. I mean, and if I'm a quarterback, I don't think that organization's ran well at all.
No, I think the organization is a dumpster fire waiting to happen.
Like, they got talent. I think it's going to go one of 2 ways. They're either going to get rid of everybody, or they're going to bring in a quarterback and pay him $15 million a year. Rodgers, Lamar, or Brady, either or. I
don't tell you the truth. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to go to another team. Like, I don't know what it is, but I think if he does,
I've seen him. Like, it seems like he wants to retire, but like, let's be real. You ever going to turn down $50 million a year in your life?
Absolutely not. Never even seen a number a day in my life.
I mean, unless he gets seriously hurt or takes a shit downfall, why would he leave? Why would he leave? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I get it. He's going down. Like, he didn't win MVP this year, so obviously he went down. But, I mean, you imagine that offense. You put him in there. He already knows how to throw to Adams. Now you got a running back in Jacobs. You already know how to use him.
Yeah. Maybe he can revamp Darren Waller.
Or they trade Darren Waller and get Gronk. I mean, I don't know.
Get Robert Tonyan, get his old tight end back.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I agree. Jacobs there. The number 1 wide receiver, guy you hate, Justin Jefferson. He's MVP.
Hold on.
Because
don't hate him. I don't hate him. Don't. That's far fact because that motherfucker put the points for me.
Right, you hate playing against him. You hate him putting up numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see him get hurt or nothing, but you don't like him on that football field because he's good. I hate him too because we passed on him. But But he's MVP right there because not because he finished number 6 overall, but because he finished 6th overall.
Yeah.
People were taking him top 5, 6, and he's going number 1 wide receiver, and people weren't understanding why, and he proved why. He's going to get that same value on him next year. He's going to do the same thing next year. He's definitely was the number 1 wide receiver this year. But we got a couple other receivers on this chart that had some good years. Now you could obviously put on the elite guys. You could put Devontae Adams on there. His numbers are.
Oh yeah, could definitely put Tay on there. Tay might deserve it.
100% MVP. Like Diggs, 100% MVP as well. Even Jamar Chase, he was out for a couple of games. He still put up MVP type numbers.
AJ
Brown. Now you say AJ Brown. We could have put AJ Brown on here, but how about his teammate? How about the value that players that fantasy owners got in his teammate Devontae Smith? Devontae Smith was projected to be 99. He finished 33rd. He scored 254 points. Now, he's the MVP, number 2 wide receiver for me, because there's a lot of people that ask me, do we even start Devontae Smith anymore? Coming in like week 4. Remember, he was up and down. After that, 8-9 receptions every game.
He was balling. I started him from that week, I think. I took him out. Yeah. I actually had Brandon Cooks starting with him, starting ahead of him until I seen a drop off, and he did. So Devontae just picked that shit up.
Like you're talking about fantasy football playoffs, Devontae Smith was putting up 25, 30 points a game.
He's a baller.
You had him. Think about a lot of people weren't taking him. Like I remember in our league, I got him late. He was like my flex. Goddamn Cortland Sutton. But anyway, he was my flex. Yeah. And I got him late because people were thinking, oh, man, he ain't going to get no targets. A.J. Brown's going to get them all. He produced just as good as him, which is pretty great. We got another wide receiver slot here. I'm actually surprised that we have this guy on the list, but based off of what he produced, I think he's worth it, right?
Yes, he is.
We're talking about Amari Cooper.
Listen,
he's got undervalued, and he brought it back on himself.
He was definitely undervalued.
Yeah,
definitely, and he looked great this year. And Browns could be good. They can be good when they get it together. I'll say that.
I won't be shocked if they get DeAndre Hopkins as well.
That would be nuts.
Getting
B Watts his old buddy back. Not buddy, but buddy.
Why not? But that's just shows like they don't really need him. But why wouldn't you get him? You got Amari Cooper producing this. Just like Smith, he was projected 88. He finished 38th. Scored 246 points. This guy was balling. Now, I didn't even really know that because I don't have him. I don't think I really paid attention to him that much. But, given what he was working with this year, for him to produce, great pick. Especially he was going like 30th wide receiver in drafts. He was going pretty low, and he produced. Now, we got the probably the MVP, probably the fantasy football MVP, to be honest with you. This next guy at tight end, Travis Kelce. We already talked about him. I mean, isn't he worthy of getting the MVP trophy for fantasy football? I mean, he's probably
absolutely. He broke. You had 1,400 yards receiving.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He had a 4 TD game. 5 TD.
I mean,
100 receptions. Like, absolutely, he could be the MVP, fantasy MVP.
The crazy thing is he finished 19th overall, which is actually crazy. So if you actually look at where he was getting drafted, he actually was a bust, which we already know. Ain't no bust, considering, like I said, he scored 100 more points than the number 2 guy. So, if you had Travis Kelce, you were good. Everybody else was sweating.
You were good, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, every year. You're going to produce the same thing next year. That's about it. Now, we got a flex position here. Who are you putting at the flex on our MVP team?
See, this guy I got a little hurt. I got a little beef with because he wasn't doing shit the first couple of weeks. I dropped him in one of my leagues. And he went off after that. We're talking about Stevens. I never can say his name right. Ramondre Stevenson from the New England Patriots.
If you remember, he was actually one guy I got right this year. I said he's going to be a sleeper pick. He's going to be out there for a great pick. He finished 35th in the league, which is great. Like I said, Jacobs finished 16. He only scored about 29 points less than him, which is crazy.
Yeah.
To think. And you know what's even crazier? I know a lot of people, if you actually had him on your team, they're gonna put it. He's the playoff bust. He shit the bed in the playoffs, but he got you there. So like, if you had Stevenson and Najee and you flipped them in the playoffs, you were good. Because Stevenson, man, during them last 3 playoff weeks, he was bad though. But like throughout the whole year, like you said, man, took off. He had like, I think week 3, 4, 5, 6, he had like 28 points plus each week, which was phenomenal.
That boy was balling.
Yeah, he was balling.
Let's talk about this bench though, because I'm looking at this bench and I'm like, I like it.
So my favorite pickup of the year, the guy that actually won me my other league, quarterback, Geno fucking Smith. He might get the MVP too. Guy didn't get drafted. No one even talking about it. Get the bag.
We all laughed at him. We all laughed at him. We thought the Seahawks weren't gonna be shit.
We thought
they were gonna be garbage. We thought they were gonna be just bad.
Yeah.
Geno Smith, we wrote him off. He just ain't right back. So he did his thing. Shout out to Geno. That's my boy. West Virginia's own, but damn, he really. I don't know what he did in the offseason to like get his mind be like, I'm a starting quarterback, and I'm not only just a starting quarterback in the league. I am an elite. I won't say elite, but I am a very, very, very good quarterback. A Pro Bowler, an All-Pro probably.
Exactly. I mean, a couple of the reasons why we got a guy we could have put on our list in Kenneth Walker. He could have easily been on our MVP list, especially based off. The only reason I didn't was because he got hurt, and he hurt a lot of people in the last weeks. But when he did get the ball, he was killing it. But they got a guy that made the list on here, Tyler Lockett. Talk about another guy that was written off. Everybody I know wrote Tyler Lockett off. He was drafted like 50th wide receiver, like way down on the charts.
That's because he lost Russ.
Exactly. Everybody thought that connection.
Yeah.
Hell of a player, man. He finished 44th overall. Yeah, I mean, unbelievable pick. Like, in my other league, like I said, I picked him as well. I didn't even know if I was going to play him. I actually was thinking about trading him or cutting him because I had a stack. Yeah. The dude was phenomenal this year. It was phenomenal. Definitely made it on the list. We got another guy you already talked about, a bench running back. You already spoke about him. Who we got?
Listen, I've been praising this motherfucker. I've been praising this guy right here. I think he was my steal. I told everybody about him before the league. If Steve's watching, which he is, I think he'll tell you. When he told me he picked this man, I was like, bro, you need to start him. He's gonna go off this year. And we're talking about Jamal Williams, though, man. Detroit's on
225 points.
Oh my god, dude!
He wasn't drafted.
Touchdown machine.
Be like what, like 13th round?
Some people got him off the waiver wire. He wasn't drafted.
Yeah, because
I literally drafted him in my last pick.
Yeah, I mean,
all my leagues I got Jamal Williams.
He probably picked sleeper of the year. Probably he's right there.
He was.
He's right there.
He was a sleeper.
Him or Stevenson, one of them gets the award.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd probably give it to Jamal because
Jamal, I would too.
In the final weeks, so if you had him after, like I said, Stevenson didn't score that great. So Williams, man, he's a sleeper right there. He was a sleeper. We got another running back on here, which I hate to put this team on our chart, but he's got to make it. Tony fucking Pollard, man. He finished 30. I told people he was going to be the starter by the end of the year. He was going to put up numbers, but he produced well, 248 points.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Zeke lost his job this year.
He's done. We're about to see. We just saw the end of the Zeke Elliott era. So Tony Pollard just does more.
He's good. Hell, versatile back. He kind of him and Travis Etienne kind of remind me of each other. They kind of do the same.
In a way, yeah.
Which in Madden, fun to use. We got one more guy on here. Now we've been talking about tight ends all night and how they sucked. How about this guy?
I want to tell you about this guy right here. A guy that irked my life because I drafted him as a rookie and he did shit. And he was in a terrible team. You know, terrible team. Evan Ingram has surprisingly been amazing. Like sneaky amazing for Trevor Lawrence.
Now the crazy thing is he only scored 176 points
Yeah.
But he did that all from week 9 up.
Yeah,
So
he
all
came.
second half of the season.
Yes, he had a strong half of the season. He really, 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 really
So
turned up. And I'm happy for him, man. He's first round pick, so
he was great. He was great. But that's our squads. We got some good squads there for the MVP team, at least. I know a lot of people had them on their team. That's why they won. Unfortunately, I only had 2 of them. But that was my one league. The rest of my team had all the – pretty much we took the bus team from my teams. And the MVP teams were from the champions. That's about
absolutely.
it. But till next year, fantasy football, we'll be back.
We
have some live football coming up this week.
Yeah.
We got playoff fucking football. Now, we can sit here and break this down, but we're going to go through it quick. We're going to go through it real quick here. So we got the first game on Saturday. We got Seattle and San Francisco. Seattle is plus 9.5, and the money line is plus 395. San Francisco, minus 9.5, minus 500 on the money line. Over under is 42. What's your thoughts for that game? What are you picking?
I got Seattle.
So you're going Seattle money line?
Money line, man.
You're going to have an upset.
I'm going for upset for that one. I don't know why. There's something. I gotta have a hot take during this whole thing. During this podcast, I haven't said anything hot take-ish. I gotta say that I'm gonna take. Actually, I might just take the points on that game.
I mean, listen, they can win.
They definitely can win.
You got Brock Purdy in a playoff situation, you never know.
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I got Seattle with the points with the 9.5. I think that's a level 10 out of 16 confidence.
Yes.
Over under in that game, I don't know, 42. I'm going under.
Under.
So I think we're going to go under in that game. Next Saturday game, we got LA Chargers minus 2.5, favorite at minus 138. We got Jacksonville at home plus 2.5, plus 118. The over under is 47.5. What do you like in that game?
Point wise, I probably go. I said the Jags when we bring it up on the group and on the Instagram page. I said the Jags, but I think more and more, I think that the Chargers are going to win and they're going to cover.
Yeah, I agree with you. I got Chargers winning. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to go over. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, especially the Saturday games. You got the defensive game, and then you got the offensive game that night. So it's going to be a good game, though. It's going to be a 3-point game, so they're going to cover 2.5. So get your bet in now until it goes to 3.5, because then you're screwed. Then you got to take Jaguars. You got to switch it. We got Sunday night games. We got Miami without Tua. They're going with the rookie. Plus 13.5 and plus 520.
Yeah.
Buffalo is minus 720. The over-under is 43.5. Is there any chance that you're not taking Buffalo all the way in this game?
Buffalo, it's a Buffalo line. It's a Buffalo everything. I'm taking Buffalo for that game, period.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo over. I think they might score 45 for themselves.
Yeah.
I think they're going to put on a show here. We got the next game on. We got Baltimore plus 10. Plus 370, Cincinnati minus 480, over under is 40.5. Now this is relevant because they believe Lamar Jackson's out. So as of now, Lamar's out.
Yeah, he is. He's not playing.
So Lamar Jackson's not playing. What are you taking this game?
Not the Ravens.
All right, so I'm going the same way as Buffalo in this game. I think Cincinnati might score 40.
Listen. Fresh Joe is gonna go out there and ball out. So I'm definitely taking Joey Burrow on that one.
See a matchup Cincinnati and Buffalo next week. So I think they're both
we're gonna see a rematch.
Yeah. We got the final game on Sunday. Well, we already did the final game, but we got New York and Minnesota. We got New York plus 3, plus 136, Minnesota minus 162. Over under this game is 48.5.
Yeah.
What do you got in this game?
For who?
Who do you got? Giants and Minnesota.
What's the points for a minute? What are they giving them?
It's plus 3 for the Giants.
Okay, plus 3 for the Giants. I like that line. I'll probably take the Giants on that one because of how Minnesota is just they're the worst second place team in the world right now. They're not that great. What was the point differential for them? Like minus 90.
It wasn't. It was bad.
It was terrible for a 12-win, a 13-win team. It was terrible. I'm gonna go take that Giants line.
I actually think the Giants are gonna win this game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win.
I do think they're gonna win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but I think they're gonna win this game. They lost to them by 3 in the regular season, and Minnesota hasn't really shown me anything good. And the Giants have shown me a lot. They fight.
They do fight.
They're healthy. They're healthy. They're getting a couple guys back. I think they're going to win the game. Plus, they come to Philly next week, so if they win, we'll take them. We got the final game. We got Dallas at Tampa. Dallas minus 2.5, minus 142. Tom Brady. I don't think he's ever been favored, the underdog at home in a playoff game, but he's plus 120. The over-under is 45.5. This is a weird game. I don't know what to call this game. What do you think?
I like Tampa. 7-0 against them. I like that game. I like Tom Brady 7-0. He's 7-0 against the Cowboys. He's never lost to them. I think they're not that great. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the Bucs limped into the playoffs. They limped. They need a little bit of luck to get into and win their division. It was bad. But I think Brady in the playoffs, that's a different scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not betting against Brady in a playoff game. So I'm going to take Brady. I'm going to go over this game too. I feel like it's going to be like a 32-27 game.
Yeah.
Just go over.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Tampa as well. So we'll see what happens. We'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week.
Well, other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed our teams, our picks, and we'll catch you guys later, man.
All righty.
Peace out, Paul.
See ya.
Later, y'all.
See ya.